Good morning, Knicks Nation. Today is Friday. It's the 29th day of September 2023. Happy Friday to you. I hope that you and your family are safe and healthy today, and that the needs of you and your family in terms of food, shelter, clothing, as well as health are being met today. Blessings upon those that work in the healthcare field, who, along with the first responders, are every day saving lives, and those that pick up garbage for us to keep our streets and sidewalks clean and disease free in our parks, and those that make deliveries for our convenience. Double blessings on the men and women out here trying to help rescue, deliver, and recover the teenagers and children that are the victims of child molestation and pedophilia. Those who also are the victims of prostitution and child prostitution, human trafficking, and sex slavery. Double curses on the perpetrators of these things. Double curses on the profiteers, and double curses on the perverts who create the industry. Finally, double blessings on the homeless. There are nearly 600,000 men, women, and mostly children that are homeless in the United States of America. And there are millions around the world in similar or worse conditions. Blessings upon them, for theirs is the kingdom. So, there's every once in a while a trade that happens that creates a sort of an earthquake throughout the NBA, causes teams to change their long-term strategies and plans, causes teams to rethink what they're doing. This is one of those situations. In trading Damian Lillard to Milwaukee, the trade of Jrue Holiday creates this situation. Every team in the NBA wants Jrue Holiday. In fact, I'm going to tell you, I think more teams want Jrue Holiday than wanted Damian Lillard. Because Jrue Holiday is a two-way player. He's a championship piece, a proven championship piece, a five-time All-NBA defensive player, two-time All-Star. Yes, he is 33, okay? And so that's older, obviously. His injury history is such that, I looked at his last 5 years, it's 67, 61, 59, 67, and 67 games. The the COVID season is the one that he ended up getting. I think it was the COVID season where he ended up playing 59 games. I think it was either the COVID season or the one before that. So that one is kind of like, you can't count that as him being injured. But for the most part, he plays 67 games a year, which is what you want. 65 is the number I look for. 65 is what's in a lot of guys' contracts as the number of games you got to play to get certain incentives. So he gives us 67. And he did that, of course, for the last 2 years, 67. So he's older, but I think he's good for 2 years for whoever gets him. His 3-point, now aside from being all NBA defense, his 3-point percentages over that same 5 year period, you're talking 35, 39, 41, 38 from three. You combine that with the defense, you got a championship piece right there. So he's in great demand. Any team that gets him is going to be better, period. And I would argue that the acquisition, and some of y'all are going to think I'm crazy, but in terms of winning a championship, the acquisition for the Knicks of a Jrue Holiday would equal the acquisition of a Giannis in terms of its championship effect. The only difference is Giannis is younger, so you'd have a longer period of time to win with him. But you get Jrue Holiday, and your championship window opens. Now, okay? So this is a major decision. Now, as usual, I'm going to look at this as logically, succinctly as I can. I'm not putting emotions in it. The emotion is the fact that if we get him, our Knicks vault to championship contention. That's the emotional part. How it gets done is you got to be more level-headed now. Okay? And this is why I love the Don. He's not looking at this with emotion. He's looking at this coldly, straight coldness. Okay. Now he cares about his guys on his team. That's one of the things that players around the league love about him. He really cares about his players, his guys. But he also knows he got to make straight, strong basketball business decisions. Now, yesterday, I think the trade that everybody was throwing around was Emmanuel Quickly with Evan Fournier with some picks for Holiday. Let me tell you why that is a ridiculous trade. You have to look at Portland, okay? The only way Portland obviously, let's go back from the beginning. They have the rights right now to Jrue Holiday. They own his rights. They are going to be looking to trade him. Okay? They're definitely looking to trade him. And why? Why are they looking to trade him? Right now, they have Anthony Simons, Scoot Henderson, and Shaden Sharp as backcourt. Okay? The old man of that group is Anthony Simons, who's only 24. Okay? The other two guys are 19, 20 in that range, right? Maybe 21 if you're Scoot. I don't even think he's that. So that's your future. They need playing time. They're not going to bring on another point guard. You understand what I'm saying, y'all? Why would they be looking at Emmanuel Quickly? They're not trading Shaden Sharp. They're not trading Scoot Henderson. And to trade Anthony Simons, who's a starter, and they just signed him, he's getting $24 million a year. The money works if you're looking at, well, it doesn't really work, really. That's another problem. The money has got to work. Okay? Some people don't even look at that. The money's got to work. So when you're looking at Portland, they're not looking for a point guard. Let's look at Portland's starting five, projected starting five. They just got DeAndre Ayton, so you know he's starting at the 5. They have Jeremy Grant, who's at the 4. And I'm telling you right now, since Dame is gone, unless Grant just loves Portland, and that's possible, he could just love living in Portland and getting paid, $28 million a year or whatever. Okay, but if he wants to win, he's not going to be in Portland long. He's also going to be dope. Okay? But he's at this point, he's projected as their starting 4. Then you have Anthony Simons, and let's not forget Matisse Thybulle, another young player that's an all-NBA defender. And then you got Scoot Henderson and Shaden Sharp. See? So right now, Simons can play the point, and he can play the shooting guard. Matisse Thybulle can play the small forward, and he can play the shooting guard. Scoot Henderson is obviously straight point guard. Then you got Shaden Sharp, who can play the shooting guard. Shaden Sharp's a shooting guard. He can play some small forward, but he's young right now. But his long-term projection is as a shooting guard. As far as small forward, like pure small forward, what do they have? Jabari Walker. You heard of him? Me neither. Didi Luwaza, whatever his name is. You heard of him? Me neither. All behind Ben McLemore, Kevin Knox, and Justice Winslow, who is in the Anthony Ambulance camp. Always hurt. So they need a small forward. They could use a wing. You're Portland. Think about it, brother. You're Portland. You're rebuilding. What do you want? You want draft capital and you want young talent. That's what you want if you're Portland. Draft capital and young talent. Okay? What does Portland have in the cupboard for draft? Well, they just got some unprotected 2029 from Milwaukee. They also got a switchable 30. Now, I think they got an unprotected 2028, and they got a switchable 30 and 29 or something like that. They got a couple of picks, but mostly, aside from that, they got protected picks going forward. No unprotected picks until you get to 2029. They got a top 14 protected this year coming. Top 14 protected next year. Top 14 protected. And that's for Chicago. Okay? So you got Chicago possibility of taking a pick if it's outside the top 14. So they'd like to get some more picks. They'd like to be Oklahoma City right now. They'd like to have a whole bunch of picks and young talent. That's what they want. So they're not going to want Emmanuel quickly because he's a point guard and they already got 2 or 3 of them that they're trying to play. What they need is a wing. Maybe a power forward. Okay, maybe a power forward. So, with regard to the Knicks, what do the Knicks need? Nothing. I know some of y'all talking about a big wing and all this bullcrap. Nothing. The Knicks don't need nothing. We good. But nobody can deny adding Jrue Holiday would vault the Knicks forward even further. Okay? But as y'all know, got to bring ass to get ass. So what you gonna do? I'm telling you, the guy that matches. So Fournier would be going out. Okay? Fournier is going to be going out. Draft capital is going to be going out, which the Knicks have. You're going to get a young player going out, but the salary has got to be up there. We're really talking RJ Barrett right now. That's what we're talking. You got to be real about it. That's what you're dealing with. Why? Salary works. You get $35 million coming to you from Jrue Holiday. RJ's $24 million. You need to add Evan Fournier or get a third team involved to get the money to work, because we could be sending them back $43 million, and they could be sending us 35. You get a small contract to make that deal work. You get a third team involved, or you add a small contract. You got that. Okay, that's not a big deal. They can get that done. But you're talking about RJ Barrett and Evan Fournier. When you're looking, we were talking about Giannis Antetokounmpo. We were talking about up to 5 number 1 picks. You don't need that for this guy. Okay? So that's what I mean. You can get a championship window open with Holiday, and you don't need 5 number 1s. You can give Portland 2 number 1s. RJ Barrett, Evan Fournier. And what do you have if you're in New York? Jalen Brunson as your point guard. Jrue Holiday as your 2 guard. Quentin Grimes as your small forward. The defense on the wing would become locked down overnight. Aside from, you got both Quentin Grimes and Jrue Holiday and Brunson that can all shoot 40% from 3, 80% or better from the line. Your defense becomes ferocious. Right there. And you still have Emmanuel Quickly. You still have Dante DiVincenzo. You still have Julius Randle. You still have Mitchell Robinson. You still have Isaiah Hartenstein. You still have Jericho Sims. You still have Deuce McBride. This could happen. Okay? Because if you're Portland, why would you do this? You're getting RJ Barrett. There's your starting small forward for the next 10 years. He's locked up for the next 4 years. Okay, you ain't got to worry about him. 23 or 22 years old, you're done there. Okay? You just got 2 number 1 picks to add to the 1 plus switchable ones that you got from Milwaukee. So you got 3 number 1 picks, 2 swap opportunities, plus you still got your top 14 protected for the next 3 or 4 years. So you now got your cupboards back getting close to full again. And you still got the piece in Jeremy Grant that you can deal and get more from that. Contenders are going to want Jeremy Grant. He hasn't won a chip, but I'm telling you, he's a chip piece. Okay, he's that type of dude. 2-way player, championship piece. Teams are going to want him. Locked up, contract locked up. Teams are going to want him. Okay, so that's what you're talking about. So now the decision becomes, and this is a difficult decision. I ain't going to front. This is difficult. But again, this is why I trust the Don. He'll walk away from it if he don't like it. First off, we must understand how the Knicks approach this. Forget the media with all of this talk of all of these different players and all this bullcrap. The Knicks have a price. They will not go above that price. Period. That's how they operate. Y'all should know this by now. They have a price. This is their price, whatever it is. You want beyond that? Okay, thanks for talking. We move on. And especially this is true now. Why? As I said in the beginning, we don't need nothing. We can walk away. Okay? We can walk away. But to get a holiday, now people will be concerned with his contract. He's got this year, $35 million, and he's got a player option for $37 million. He could become an unrestricted free agent next year. Now, the thing is, when you get him, and this is what I like about getting him, also, again, I don't know which way the Knicks are going to go, and I'm not pushing one way or the other. I'm just letting you know how this deal would get done if it did get done. They could win a championship with him this year. Okay? And let's say he walked next year and you just gave up RJ Barrett and picks, but you got a chip. So let me ask you, would you give up RJ Barrett and picks this year to win the ring this year? Because that's what you're talking about. And then he could walk next year if he wants to. And you got your chip. And you still got most of your young team still there. You still got your young team still there. Okay? And in fact, if he did, this is a worst case scenario. I'm talking worst case. If he did walk next year, you still got Emmanuel Quickly. You could start him at the 2. You could start DiVincenzo at the 2. You still got Quentin Grimes on his rookie deal. If he walked next year, you just lost salary too. You just lost $35 million off the books. You done already got rid of Evan Fournier. And now you can sign Emmanuel Quickly to his extension and not worry about, well, you're already going to sign him, but you're not worried about the tax, the luxury tax now. So even if he did walk next year, it would hurt. But if that's the worst case scenario, there could be a lot worse. That's all I'm saying. It could be a lot worse. Yeah, this video went a little longer today because we got to talk about this. Very big decision. But that's the price I would give. And that's the price I think the Don would give. They might add an unprotected first to make the deal, put the nail in that coffin. A protected first. So let's say they got 2 unprotected first to them, maybe a protected first. Make it sound good. And you get RJ Barrett and Evan Fournier. And we get our brother here, Holiday. Like I said, the defense becomes ferocious at that point. It really does. It really becomes ferocious. And you just seriously upgraded. Okay? Seriously. You added a 40% three-point shooter, an 18-point per game scorer, an all-NBA lockdown defender right next to Brunson, and now you got Quentin Grimes, who's already a lockdown defender. You got 3 now on the wing and 40% three-point shooters. This becomes very dangerous for the NBA. Okay? Whatever team gets him is going to immediately get better. Whether it's Philly, Boston, Miami, those are the really big ones. Of all of those teams, though, if you look at them objectively, the most stable right now organization is the New York Knicks. Of all of those teams right now. Miami is stable, but I'm saying they just lost several important pieces. That was part of their big run last year. Okay, several important pieces. Gabe Vincent's gone, Max Strus is gone. They lost several important pieces that was part of their big run last year. Okay, we know about Philly and the whole Harden drama, right? Then there's Boston, who just sent away Marcus Smart, their defensive ace, for Kristaps Porzingis, who, we don't know. He's a tremendous talent. I was interested in him, but we don't know how reliable he's going to be, how available he's going to be. Then you're going to try to add a Holiday. Makes sense. But what you going to send out? What they're going to be? They're going to be interested in Brogdon? I don't think so. So the Knicks are really in the driver's seat right here. They got the assets to get this done. They're gonna have a price, and it's not gonna go above it. They get this done, and they're only sending out RJ Barrett with Fournier. Which I'm not saying only, because RJ, I would hate to lose Broadway Barrett, but at the same time, you opening your championship window now? This is the question we talked about last year when we talked about replacing RJ with somebody that was more ready to open the championship window. This is still the same question. Will you wait for the development of RJ Barrett and let him go through this year and get his next steps, which I'm confident he will? Or will you say, okay, screw it, let's go for this chip now? Because the difference is if you're losing RJ and Fournier and three number two, your own in a switch in a protected, you ain't lost much in terms of your coverage. You still got a whole bunch of number ones. You still got most of your talent. And you just added a championship piece. I don't know. Brethren, I don't know one way or the other. Y'all gonna tell me. But that's the package right there. It ain't IQ. That's the package right there. And we're gonna have to see what they're gonna do. We'll find out soon. Because this is not one of them deals that's gonna drag out until All-Star break. It's not until the trade deadline. This gets done before camp is done. This gets done. Or they walk away. And again, I understand, and I want y'all to understand, that Don is just as willing to say thanks, no thanks, as he is willing to do this deal. So we're going to see how this works out. It's going to be interesting. But like I said, at the end of the day, Brunson, Holiday, Grimes, Mitchell Robinson, Randall defense, it would be devastating. It would be a ferocious defense on the perimeter, which is what you want in the league right now. You got Mitchell Robinson back there, one of the best defenders in terms of shot blocking in the NBA. Rim protection. And they can hide Brunson. They can hide Brunson in there. Okay? Yo, we're going to see what happens. And like I said, if Holiday was to walk next year, let's say he asked for $45 million, some crazy number, and the Don said, okay, I'll give it to you for 2 years. And he said, no, I need more. And you go, okay, bye. And the worst case scenario is you still have Emmanuel Quickly, Dante DiVincenzo, Quentin Grimes, with another year experience and hopefully a championship. We're in good shape. We'll see what happens, y'all. It's going to be interesting. We're going to find out soon because a lot of teams are going to be bidding. I'm not worried about teams like the Lakers and Clippers. They don't have the draft capital. Okay? The Lakers have some young talent, though. They do. They got a Vanderbilt over there. So they got that. Clippers, they kind of went all in on two dudes, and I don't know if they got anything left to give. But in the East, Philly, Boston, Miami, New York, Atlanta, a lot of teams are going to be interested. Every team in the East is going to be interested. Talking about Indiana, who didn't even make the playoffs last year. Every team in the East is going to be interested in Jrue Holiday, except Milwaukee, obviously. But we'll see how this works out. You're going to see soon. Y'all enjoy your weekend. Shalom.